If your jumbo twists never come out this clean, you're probably missing this. I actually had someone ask me to do this tutorial. I got you. Usually I like to start with a middle part, especially for men, so that is symmetrical. They usually have a middle part. So sometimes if they have natural parting and it's not a perfectly straight line, you could just make it as equal as possible. Start with the middle part like this. It'll make sure everything is equal instead of starting with the twist going from here up. If you start here, you'll know that everything is symmetrical at the end instead of getting trapped, because sometimes the rows don't line up. So that's how I kind of preset it so that everything is equal at the end. So he's doing 4-strand twist. So what I like to do is already kind of group it. So these are 4 here, and I kind of already just swirl it so it's already ready for me later. I start from the middle, working down. It's the next 4. And the last 4. Now in this situation, it's a little uneven. So if I did 4 here, this will be like a odd shape. So in these instances, I would do the 3 right here, just because everything else has been a square so far. So we'll do 3, and these are thick locks, so you wouldn't be able to tell as far as the size difference. Here. Next 4 here. Now we got one odd one out. So with this, you want to eyeball it and see what makes the most sense. Everything has been kind of a square shape with the 4. So we're going to put this one here so then it can complete the square shape. Open it out this way, it takes out the guesswork later. So now you just go in and do the retwist and then start twisting them. So now I don't have to try to figure this out and make sure this looks right because it's already ready. I always like to start with the one in the middle, next to the middle part first, so that I can see how everything looks. Because this is the part that everyone sees. This is like the most important part. So I really like to start with the most important part first. So now I'm doing a retwist on each lock, a palm roll. And so I'd like to aim the palm roll in the direction that the twist is going to go. So you see how I have it aimed up here? Instead of on a normal retwist, we would have that going back. But because he's getting twist and I want him to look as neat as possible, I'm going to twist it in this direction, aiming up. So now I'm going to take them, I tighten them first, so I twist them all to the right to hold them so they have a clean, tight look. And then you want to treat them like you would a 2-strand twist. Wind it, and then you do right over left, right over left, right over left. I like to do it nice and tight, so you see how it looks like a rope. And then when they take them out, it'll have a very crinkled look to it. And if you do them tight like this, it'll really be defined. At the ends, I like to bend my ends up so that it just looks neater, because everything is like curved up instead of just having it loose like this. Because all locks are going to be different. Some are going to be thick, some are going to have straight ends. So if you curve them up, they'll all look the same. Some clients will request to keep it out. I've had that, but by default, I make them like this, so it's the neatest look. Now you can see how it's nice and tight. All of the locks are aiming each other so that when they get in the center, it's a clean twist all the way to the ends. You put a little gel on each lock. I don't use a lot because you don't need a lot. You put the rest on this because I don't even need that much. Palm roll it, and then I call this the cinnamon roll. Leave it in the cinnamon roll. You don't need clips. When I do my twist, 2-strand twist, 4-strand twist, jumbo twist, I don't use clips. But if you swirl it like that, then it'll hold itself. Cinnamon roll it. See, and that's perfect. You see how it's a mirror image of the other side? That's why I like to prep all of this first, because then you can already see how they're gonna look too at the end. Because we already know what it's gonna look like. We already did this side. Usually I always like to start in the middle, but I've already done that side, so I already know everything's gonna lay perfect. This one has 5 technically, but you can't really tell because this one's so small. So I'm still gathering the hairs, I'm still palm rolling, but I'm aiming it towards the twist. The twist is going to be right here in the middle, so all the locks are going to aim towards the middle. I'll say about 20-25 minutes. Yeah. 4:30. Oh, what time did you? Oh. Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you mind? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So we're gonna go to the ends. Twist. Tuck the ends in. This one has more, it's thicker. So we're really gonna tuck it in. Fold up the end, rubber band. So this one's a little uneven. There's 3 of them in a row versus the 1 on the other side. We're still going to take the 3 on this side and do them together just so they all can lay the proper way. And then once you get here, go ahead and take one of them from the 3 and put it so they're equal, 2 and 2. You see how one side has 4 locks, one has 2. You got them combined. But what we want to do is borrow one from one side just so this is not uneven. Because then you'll have one real thick side and one thin. So now we have 3 and 3. Also helpful, I usually keep the rubber bands on their shoulder just so it's ready and right there when you need it. So we got 3 here. Once again, you want to take the 2 that are on the same side, hold those in one hand, and then hold the other one in the other hand. Twist them. As you go down, you'll see if one side is like way thicker, like this. This is a thick lock. These other 2 are thinner, so I'm going to take these 2 and put them on one side.
Don't give up on me, yeah. Don't give up on me, yeah.
Alright, so now we're in the back. And in the back, you have square parts, so everything is lined up. And once we get here, if I do 4, actually this one can be 4, but this one, let's see. This one's good. We'll group it in 4 now just because it lines up. But if it didn't line up, you could even do 3. But because with the 4, it would be like a perfect line, we're gonna, even though it's more of a longer shape to it. Now you see how we left with this last row? That's okay, we're gonna do 3 here. Because that one's such a small lock, it just makes sense to do this one 3. We're gonna do the 2 here. Better choice because you want to make sure all of this looks like it makes sense. So all of this should be symmetrical. These are all square sections. So we don't want to have to, if we had started back here, this would have been thrown off and things wouldn't have lined up right. So that's why I like to start in the middle, in the front, and then come back on the way down. So that way I can make sure everything looks congruent and even, because this is another part that shows, the back part, everything is out here. By the time you get down here, these twists are gonna cover. So even though this is just one row on its own, these will cover this and you won't even be able to tell the difference. Or you could add these into these locks, but I don't want to do that because then these will be thicker and I just want them all to be more the same size twist, and you won't be able to tell the difference anyway, so it makes more sense to keep these as its own 2 twists and then do everything else the same size. A lot of people will start the twist coming from the back and going up because that's the way you do a retwist. When you do a retwist, you start in the back and you work your way up. But when you do these kinds of twists, if you do it that way, sometimes you get caught and they don't line up the proper way by the time you get up here. And by the time you get up to the front, it's too late because you already did the whole head and you don't, you can't really undo everything. So that's why I always start in the front. And then now the twists in the front look obviously different. So that's why it's always good to start in the front first. Or you can group all of the twists, do the whole head and group them like this. And then you can start in the back if you just used to starting in the back, but make sure they're already sectioned off so you don't get caught in the end. So you're down to 5 on this side, 2 on this side. So let's even this up. You do 4 here, 3 here. Make it more even. So that way the twist looks even. Alright, now what if I did a twist here and a twist here and I forgot one lock because I just missed it? In that situation, you look for the smaller twist, take it, and you twist it in like that with the lock that's next to it, or the twist that's next to it that's small. Usually one lock is not going to throw the whole thing off, so that's how you handle that if you do get caught where you just missed one.